Good morning. Hi, everyone. Greetings. Love, love, love. Um, so today we get to take our next step into becoming quantum crystalline. What an interesting process. I wish we were all gathered in a room and could just speak for 2 hours, and we will pull something like that together for all of us. But there is definitely so, so much happening on the grid, in the world. Um, it's just it's just a really alarming time and a powerful time, and um, there's a lot of beauty that's coming through. There's awakenings. There's hope. I feel hope, and concern, and wondering how I don't know if you have this, but how I fit into the whole picture and how I'm sure that you have those questions for yourself. Um, One thing, a friend of ours went to Africa for about a month, 3 weeks, give or take. And she did get to be with some wild game, and she got to be with the silverback and the gorillas. And it was a very powerful experience for her. But really, what happened is, I think that moved her the most, aside from sitting, I don't know, looked like 4 feet away from a silverback who's just hanging with her, was her visit to one of the villages and observing that this part of the world spends 2 hours a day walking up a mountain, getting some water, putting it on the top of their head, and walking back. And she said what she saw as their dwellings were not houses. She was very, very moved by it and has really made um, a very sincere and deep commitment to herself to make a difference for one village, but finding a way to get solar there and perhaps water purification and things like that. So, I really listened intently to her story, and I could feel my human heart pinpointing into that one little tiny moment on the planet. And how many of those kind of villages are all over Africa? How many are in other parts of the world? Now, some of the villages where we haven't interceded, they've been living a certain way, say in South America, maybe even in parts of Asia, for a long, long time. And their only challenge is, will climate change their ability to procure sustenance? Will they have enough water? Will they have too much water? Will they flood out? Will they be able to grow food? Will they be able to have a balance of protein in either what they gather or what they hunt? It's it's something that really affects us. And so, you know, I've spent the weekend kind of meditating on this and realizing that each of us are called in a certain way, and I know that how I am called is to work on the inner, and there'll be moments when I can also work on the outer, which I do with people, but certainly not right now with a village in Rwanda. Um, I want to also just take a moment here and just check in 5 new messages. Michigan water needs all that. Yes, yes. There's just so much going on I just wrote a piece on guns and the divine feminine, and all these things that we're feeling and sensing, and we know that we have to make a difference, and there is, for some of us, limitations. Sometimes it's just funds, a limitation of funds. So today we're going to go through, with that in mind, we're going to go through focusing today on our up leveling, because this is something we can do today now. And I'm going to take you back to something that was brought to us during Lionsgate. A frequency came in and made an installation of how we are to nurture our up leveling. I like up leveling better than upgrading. Upgrading sounds a little bit too commercial, but up leveling feels like it comes from within and up. And that's how the divine feminine frequency moves. It moves from the bottom up. So to be up leveled in consciousness is to really work in concert, not only with the divine precepts that we've received, over millennia. Many of them really sound and true. Some of them a little bit more controlling, but many sound and true. But really what we need now, and we're holding this in our hearts, is the up leveling through the upwelling of the divine feminine. So the first thing that we attend to is intelligence, our sacred intelligence, or our crystalline intelligence. And some of that, how that affects us is discernment, and knowing the when and the yes of when we can act or when we have to say, here's a boundary, and using discernment to move through the world with as much ease and grace as possible. Also, there's going to be these ideas and aspects of a new configuration that we have to use our intelligence to embrace. So the comprehension of up-leveled ideas, and those are going to come through us, and we have to nod and go, okay, I'm taking that in. I'm going to let that settle in me. How can my structure move from survival control to unification in myself first, and then with this up-leveling reality? We're going to get more into that. And then, of course, we have to be able to embrace our ability to observe our biased assessments. We could call those judgments. We could call those stories. We could call those how we choose to be in separation. But observing our biased assessments are always really important. And just going, whoa, I just had a judgment there. How interesting. Okay, I'm letting go of it. It can be that quick. It can be that quick. And if you get a little stuck, guess what you do? You say, love, love, love. Love, love, love. Love, love, love. It interrupts the program. And a lot of beings, when they've been traumatized severely, they loop, because actually a part of the brain, the amygdala, the limbic system, gets parts of it clicks off or it separates. And so the part that goes then into prefrontal cortex processing gets distressed or disturbed. Love, love, love gets me there. I hope it does you too. When you're really, really stuck, love, 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 love. And we'll talk more about that. Now, I'm hoping and praying that for you, as that upgrade intelligence came through as a new configuration for you, that you started getting enhanced intuition. I know I am messaging quite frequently. And what you have to do if you're in a quandary is, I would do some love, love, loves, get the ego happen, get love, 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 love. as a frequency base. Okay, I'm moving into 7D. And then you just kind of look up. You look up. Sometimes you get a gut feeling, but sometimes there's a message that can come through for you. And sometimes for me, I find it kind of humorous. I mean, some things that I get, no, don't do that. Go do that. And I'm like, well, okay. And I just do it now. I get the message. I can tell it's a clear voice. I just go do it. And then oftentimes sometimes even have a giggle of why I was diverted from doing something to doing something else. Sometimes it's avoiding an issue, and sometimes it's moving to something that is more up level. So we really want to take a moment. We're going to take a moment here, beautiful beings, and we're going to close our eyes, and we're going to just say yes. And you're going to say, okay, yes, to really honing my discernment. Yes, to just opening my ability to comprehend, to actually get rewired. Sometimes, say, math or comprehension of ideas are hard for people. Just, hey, why not say yes to having that rewired right now? So just find your way to say yes. And why not? And being able to recognize, now that's a good idea, especially when it comes from your friend or your spouse or your boss or whatever, your child. Ego out of the way. Okay, that's a good idea. And then, yeah, we got to keep observing our biased assessments of this reality. And let me tell you, there's plenty of that to be had that feels correct and righteous. And we can observe something and say, I wouldn't do that. But when you judge it, there's a different feeling. There's a feeling of separation in there. So it's it's the discernment between those. Like, I know that it feels good for me to proceed this way. And that doesn't feel so good to me right now. So there's your discernment and your observation combined. And then here, every one of you, I want you just to say, oh, yeah. Yes, to enhanced intuition. Guide me. Do it. Guide me. Do it. I'm saying yes. And I find that there's almost a little portal that I open over here in the left brain. Excuse me, the right brain, which is our more intuitive brain. So open that little portal and nod your head and say, yeah, guide me through this very interesting thing we call reality. And if I'm not quite able or rewired me to hear what you're telling me, how you're guiding me. Rewire me so I don't just pass it off. That I go, wow. Now I'm gonna tell you a story. You know, I love to tell you stories. So, been working every day on the totality body and moving into these different sectors to see and being guided to do so. And so I was guided to go probably into the dream body and to one of the rings of the inorganic world. Yeah, one of the rings there. I'm going to say it's maybe the third ring. And I'm guided to open up a portal, and I went right into it. And you know what was there? So interesting. I heard the word communism. That was what? I heard the word communism. And then I said, okay, clear it. I go, well, and I went through the list of how to clear it. They go, no, just use your power mudra, clear it. I was like, okay, if that's my job for the day or the week or whatever, I'm going to do it. And so without attachment, because it's not like communism is going to disappear tomorrow, probably not, maybe, but I did it. And then I felt something clear. And I thought about it later, and it relates to our third gift, shall we say, of upleveling to crystalline world, the crystalline frequency, the crystalline network, crystalline body. So my brain could have said, what is that? I don't relate to that, and flicked it away. But I listen now. And then I start asking more questions. And if I can't get the answer, I muscle test. At some point, we're going to have another workshop, and we're going to do it. We're going to revisit the totality body. So I got that message today as well. I have to figure out the how and when of that for all of us. Okay. So our next, let's see here, we got to change. Our next thing that kind of comes through is stage 2. And remember when we did this, we said your energy. You can throw in the word divine. Why not? You are energy. You are divine energy. And you have to get this, because if you think that your density, you will not be able to relate to transitioning to crystalline. You'll go, no, this is my body, and I'm in survival mode. I have to survive on the planet. Well, there's going to come a moment in time where that will be a choice. And you have to know that you are energy, you're divine energy. So I want us all to say this. With eyes closed, perhaps. So it's a fact. It's not even a spiritual concept. It's a fact. You are energy. So I want you to acknowledge that and feel the vibration of all of those atomic particles vibrating as you. And even those are some form of things, but it's the vibrational activity that is the energy part. So identify yourself as, yeah, I am energy. And then when you get that, you throw in, I am divine energy. I am divine energy. And feel how that feels. It feels like an up-leveling, and it feels true. I am divine energy. And that has a shimmer to it. It has a shimmer to it. Now, at this point, we can go a step further. We can go, I'm quantum energy. This is a very expansive expression and shift that happens when you declare that. I am quantum energy. It almost moves it beyond vibrational. Now, just as you're all doing it, I can feel it. Because we work on the quantum. This is how we get this to all happen. I am quantum energy. And dial that in, beautiful beings. Dial it in. Dial it in. There's an empowerment there when you are able to do that. And it links you into this kind of gorgeous, almost infinite cycle of energy appearing and disappearing. And then feel and allow that which we are as the 8 of the IC, the quantum IC. Allow that to just, if you will, penetrate or shift through your vehicle, your physical vehicle, including it. And allow yourself to perceive your vehicle as, in some way, an apparition. And allow your consciousness as I am quantum energy to expand way beyond what you perceive as your body, your field. That which you hold as yours. And as we do this, we model this for receptive and perceptive humans. In transition. And there's even the illusion of expanding as this, even as you already are it. Okay, beautiful. So as you were able to do this, finally things started clearing. So our held illusion of density started clearing. And we started getting some bleed through here of the crystalline network. And that's what we're facilitating. Bleed through. I'm holding that our 8 does what we are able and conscripted to do. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So now we go to stage 3. Stage 3, interconnectivity. Wow. And I think most of you were with me last week when I spoke of the story of someone who helped me, shall we say, cross a bridge behind a mountain, carrying my bicycle. And how I had that moment of just by instinct reaching out and just as that man was departing, just touching the shoulder in a thank you. And how when I rode away on my bicycle, I heard that word, connection. And my feeling was, chances are very slim I'll ever maybe even recognize that person anywhere. I mean, it's sunglasses on and a hat and all the gear and all that. But there was that moment of interconnectivity, that moment of connection that happened between two humans out of graciousness and 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 willingness to abide by what was going on and finding, just have this moment. So now what we're contemplating is how do we move forth in this interconnectivity, first within ourselves, and how can we nurture that in with someone else. They don't have to know, but they're going to feel it. So it has to do with listening, feeling, sometimes physical connection, seeing. But as we expand into, and you'll see here this six-sided figure in the center of this explosion of connectivity. As it happens, there are moments of upgrade that happen for this planetary reality. It's embedded. And so now I know that's my job. I mean, I am so fortunate in that is my job. How I work is that, and to listen and to see and to interact with and to assist. I am so lucky, and bless all those beautiful beings who come in and they're open to that. Love, love, love. Shoo, yum. So stage 3 is that interconnectivity. And as you soften your density world with the divine feminine, the divine feminine, you will experience these little moments of interconnectivity with all beings that you come into connection with. I shouldn't say all, but the potential will be there. Even for a moment, that could be a little, it could happen because of you. It could change someone's life forever. And here we are, the many beings of the world, weaving this web of connectivity through. And I'm looking at a lot of these. These all look pretty feminine to me. And that's not saying anything about our beautiful men. In fact, how they are responding is just, in my world, is just, it's just so heartwarming. But it is, I believe now, with the structure of the world as it is, really geared towards survival and really geared towards hierarchy and unfortunately some negative things there with greed and power plays and things like that. This is our way through. As the divine feminine in those 20 beautiful, gorgeous aspects find their way through us and move out in the world. And when you do it, my sense is you're not just doing in that moment for that little blip in reality. It stacks up. It builds it because I'm seeing it. I'm seeing in my reality, I'm seeing enhancement daily. It's working. It is working. I went out with some friends, and this is where I was really listening to this story. This very, heart story. It went both ways, heartwarming and also. And wanted to share a table, and there were these young people. And so they were at a table of 8, and we were 4 and they were 4. And I said, do you mind if we share a table with you? And they were like, yes. And they said, well, what's your name? Well, this is, and they just really, in the sweetest way, opened. And I was just watching this because this was a young, kind of where the younger set would hang out. 20 somethings and 30 somethings. They were just so cool. And so at the very end, they were walking out and saying their sweet goodbyes, and my phone dropped out of my jacket. And the guy looked down, he goes, do you want me to pick up your phone for you? I was like, wow, here's a stranger, like he's going to do this. And I go, that was my bleed through for the day. I remember his name. It was really, really sweet. So you are going to start creating a different simulation in your interactions out there because you're going to bring it. You're going to bring it. You're going to bring it. And sometimes you can need refresher course. Go back and listen to those videos. I am grace. I am beauty. I am energy. I am love. Go listen to those. Listen to them when you're driving. Listen to them when you're cooking. Just let them go into your sub. Let her come in and rewire you with softness and generous power. It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. So these 3 things, and ultimately this interconnectedness, and we tend to put things on grids here, but really this is a more accurate picture of how it's all connected. The feminine is very random. The masculine is more ordered. The feminine is chaos. I am chaos. This is what we're seeing right here. This is dark energy. This is simulation of dark energy. So, and I don't even know, this might even be James Webb photograph, way, way, way out there. And they take away certain things. But when we can really open to those three things, especially that interconnectivity, it creates a matrix to anchor the ultimate quantum crystalline frequency. Okay. I'm going to say it again. Those three things together, especially the last one, creates a matrix to anchor the ultimate quantum crystalline frequency. And I want you just to have a moment, tune into what that might be. I think a lot of you are getting it. Universal love. Universal love. Oh. And when you get to have even a speck of it in yourself through your meditation, nature, connecting with an animal, you know, something happens out there, and you get to have just a little of the universal love. It's so affirming of why we're going on this journey and doing what we're doing. And of course, this is what every true spiritual leader in the world has come to and finds different ways to encourage or to lead or guide their beautiful beings to and through and into and to become. Because if you are energy, the ultimate energy is universal love, then you are in the process of becoming that, not just feeling it or sharing it or programming it. And this is what we will dream ourselves through, especially in the next 3 years. It's going to be quite a process. And we have to, even as we observe things happening out in the world, and we have to know that some people are not possibly going to choose this path. It's okay. But we proceed forward with hope. And we get a little stuck, we go love, love, love. And then when we have enough mindfulness, we go, okay, love, 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 love. And I've had huge upset shift, in a minute with that. And I just let it do the work. And you do too. I know you're doing this because you're showing up. Because you're showing up.